If you open up this channel of opening up about your stutter and like owning it and it being a part of your work, you will be able to receive so much more than you even realize. Because for so long, for my entire life, I hid it. Like I hid the anxiety of it.
Welcome to Did I Stutter with Jill Perick. And yeah, I probably did because I have a stuttering disability. But I'm also a multiple six-figure business and mindset coach who's here to help you shut down the mindfuckery of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, and playing the nice girl in your content so you and your brand can blow the fuck up and so you can stack the motherfucking cash. I'm holding absolutely nothing back. We're talking marketing, messaging, mindset, subconscious healing, nervous system regulation, and how to do it all even with raging anxiety, ADHD, and just being a fucking human. If fuck is one of your favorite words and nothing can get in between you, your iced coffee, or the work that you're here to do, I'm your girl. Let's dive in.
Hello, my loves. How are we? I'm on a walk. It is a little bit rainy, but we're dressed for the weather. And I wanted to drop in because, first of all, as you're listening to this, I've already been talking about it and selling it, but Unfuck Your Throat Chakra starts on May 4th. So when you're listening to this, I believe that's the week that's coming up. And this is going to be a 5-day healing journey to unblock everything that is keeping you from truly selling the shit out of your work. And I don't mean like getting on stories and yapping about nothing. You can do that easily. You can put on an entire training. But when it comes to actually selling your work and saying it confidently and with belief in yourself and conviction, there is a block there. And it's not necessarily the messaging or the words that you're using. It's more so around like your belief in yourself and your conviction, and you get a little bit shaky or your throat constricts. And there is a spiritual component to this. I believe it is about the belief and the conviction you have in yourself, but that can also come from unblocking your throat. So we are going to be doing that in Unfuck Your Throat Chakra. And as all of you know, I have a stutter. And for years and years and years, I wish that I could like get rid of the stutter, and I would try all of the things. I had this just like kind of delusional belief. And I've even encountered people in the industry who have been like, oh, I'll just do an NLP session on you and your stutter will go away and all of these things. And I held out a lot of hope for it, but like I have a lifelong stutter. I've had it for my entire life. And it's something that I have just had to learn how to live with. And I realized because back in 2020, I had this experience with a healer. She did Reiki. She did all these other kinds of things. She was like, you have a witch wound. And I was like, a what? And if you've ever read Healing the Witch Wound, I highly recommend you do. It's so good. But essentially, in my past life, I was a witch. And it has always kind of been something that I could feel that there was a block around me sharing my truth and being able to like verbally speak aloud. And I was like, okay, great. So I'll heal this witch wound and then I'll be able to speak fluently for the rest of the time. Again, delusional, but like sometimes we can't always control how our brain perceives things, right? And it was just like a belief that I had that I was unworthy and not good enough and all of these things because I had a stutter. So the thing is she was like, well, it's not going to heal like your stutter, but it is going to unlock a part of your work. And this is in like the beginning of 2020. I was still working full time. COVID hadn't hit yet. I had just done my certification for neurolinguistic programming. And I was like, am I going to be successful at this? Like, is this going to work? I hadn't made more than $12,000 in my entire business. And that year I hit my first 6 figures because even just the awareness of knowing that there's a reason why I'm here. And it's not that I started the business with this thought of like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I was just like, yeah, like I want to be a coach, you know? But I couldn't connect to something that was deeper. And that was hard for me until I realized like this was my purpose, was to serve that part of me, that past life version of me who was crucified because of using her voice for communicating. I believe it was something along the lines of my specific witch wound was I was killed because I spoke up and like translated information to somebody else, and I was essentially like gossiping, but I was speaking the truth, and I was crucified for it. And this made so much sense to me spiritually, not really logically, and it was hard for me to kind of wrap my logical head around it because I was like, this just sounds ridiculous. But when I started doing neurolinguistic programming and I started journeying back into my own past lives, and I just let my subconscious kind of like run free, I saw the connection between me and like not speaking up or not sharing the truth because it's too hard to. I literally felt blocked. And then I saw a Reiki healer, like a specific Reiki healer, and she was like, yeah, there was a big block there specifically around like your stutter in your business. But it doesn't mean that your stutter is going to go away. It just means that you have to decide that this is a part of your work, that this is what you're here to do, is to be the voice of whatever you need to be for somebody else, to give somebody else courage to speak their truth and to show up and take up space. And that is going to feel unnatural, it's going to feel off, but you do it because you just have this impulse to that. How you lead and who you are and the way that you live and how you think is what somebody needs to hear and needs to know. And if you follow those footsteps, if you follow in that direction, you will be so fucking successful. And again, I was having a hard time understanding, like, what's my purpose here? Like, why am I even doing this? And it fucking pissed me off that the one thing that is like the hardest thing for me, having a stutter and navigating my everyday life, and you know, in certain times of my cycle it's worse than other times, and other times it's just like straight up I just don't have a fluent speaking cadence. I just don't. And that is a part of the work that I have to do, is like using my fucking voice anyways, speaking up, daring to take up space with the work that I do. And just me being who I am inspires so many people to start their own things, to grow their own businesses, to live in their truth. And that is the work that I'm supposed to be doing. And even just saying that, it feels like kind of a release too. Because again, if it's about me, I want to hide. I want to hide in my perfectionism and not feeling worthy because I have a stutter, and not feeling like all of these other coaches who can easily speak and do speaking engagements without freaking the fuck out, or going to in-person events and not feeling total anxiety beforehand. And like, I could use that against myself. I could say it's so much easier for them, and I have before. I have absolutely said to myself, it's so fucking easy for them. All they have to do is just like speak on camera, and they can't even fucking do it. And here I am, I have a stutter, and everything is so much harder for me. And then I realized I was being a fucking little victim, and I was like negating the one thing that like can really bring truth to growing a business and taking up space as an online business owner, and even just as like a leader, as a thought leader, as somebody who has something unique that other people can relate to, even if it's not directly, but it's something that like really inspires them and empowers them to be like, I don't have any fucking excuse. you know? Like, you are the only thing holding you back. And once I came to that realization, I finally started sharing about, you know, having a stutter and how it affects me and how I do the thing anyways and the success I've had anyways. And I would always be flabbergasted at the people that would show up and be like, oh, every time you talk about this, I feel so seen, even though you don't, like, I don't have a stutter. Like, this is how I hold myself back, or tell me it's easier for other people, and blah, 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 blah. And I really started to see the connection, and I started to see the reason why I do what I do. And like, sometimes the hardest things for us to talk about and move through are the exact thing that we need to talk about and that we need to share, because it's important, because it will actually create a fucking impact. And I wouldn't have been able to do this if I didn't lean into the healing and the spirituality of that witch wound of my past life, and unblocking the throat specifically, and unblocking the channel that was desperate to come through me, in terms of like, if you open up this channel of opening up about your stutter and like owning it and it being a part of your work, you will be able to receive so much more than you even realize. Because for so long, for my entire life, I hid it. Like, I hid the anxiety of it. Everybody knew that I had a stutter, but like, I would never dare talk about it out loud. I would never talk about it. And nobody knew up until I started going to like therapy at age 28, like how much it deeply affected me. Deeply affected my everyday life. So this is why you need to be in Unfuck Your Throat Chakra, because we are going to be doing this healing. And even if you don't have a stutter or anything that is quote unquote blocking you, if you are not selling audaciously, if it feels like there is a block between you yapping on stories or going live or doing whatever, but when it comes to selling your offers, it feels sticky, it feels off, it feels weird, you hesitate, you hold back, you don't sell as hard as you could, you feel annoying for selling your own work on your own page, this is the work that is going to help you receive directly through your business and help unblock that specific channel around selling with your voice. So we start on Monday, May 4th. It's $33 at the link in my show notes. I love you. I will see you there.